Hi, my name is John Daniel, and I am the managing editor for the Cinema Spot. My first question is, did you audition for Crush with AJ Campos in mind, or were there other roles that you wanted to portray?
That's a great question, actually. I always knew I wanted to audition for AJ. I remember during the audition process, they were asking, like, do you want to audition for Paige? Because that seems like, kind of more up your alley. It's someone that I would have been like, I would have played more similarly in like past roles of she's an artist, she's really sweet, is she has a first crush, but I knew that I wanted to play AJ because she was someone that I thought was really interesting and mysterious and played things a little closer to her chest. She wasn't as outgoing as Paige was, and I found that more interesting. So I always knew I wanted to be AJ, and thankfully I got her.
Can we talk about her dynamic with Isabella's Gabriella? In retrospect, I'm interested in how the overall story or the narrative was told, and that includes your side of the story and Gabriella's side of the story. Did you share more scenes together, or was what we see in the final cut what we get?
I haven't seen the final,
Oh, okay.
so it'll be a surprise to me. Like, you've probably seen actually more of a finished version than I have,
Yeah.
but working with Isabella was so wonderful, and I loved the dynamic between AJ and Gabriella because I thought that it was very realistic. Um, I don't have any siblings, but I imagine that sibling rivalries happen, and it must be
Mhm.
very difficult. And that's how I portrayed AJ in having this seemingly like perfect sister, and Gabriella is one of the co-captains of the track team. And so, there's this sense that AJ tries so hard to make herself recognizable from her sister. And like they carry the same last name, but she's a perfectionist. So she wants to be the best that she can possibly be and stand out against her already perfect sister. And we have a few scenes together, some good juicy ones as well. So I hope people really enjoy our work, and I also can't wait to see it.
I did get to see the film several hours ago, and it's just magnificent. There is prominent LGBTQ representation as a major theme in the film. Aside from that, we do get some mention of your character's cultural and ethnic background when she brings up her abuela.
Mm.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Sure, yes. So I myself am bisexual. That's how I identify. And I am Puerto Rican, Portuguese, Hawaiian, Chinese, and Irish. So I'm a
Okay.
mixed plate. And I'm always very
Yeah.
grateful when the characters that I play also um, kind of dip into my heritage, because that feels really honest. And it means that I get to show people maybe themselves on screen, and using, even like you said, little like words like abuela, which is just grandmother, but it means something to people. So to be able to play a character who is Latin was really wonderful. And Isabella Ferreira as well as Tyler Alvarez are also Latin themselves, and so they are very fun to play
Oh,
with,
okay.
and they're wonderful people, and I'm really glad I got to make some friends on this film.
In regards to film and television, you got to work in animation and musical projects. With this role specifically, you play this athletic character, live action nonetheless. Was this something you've always grown up with, athleticism, or were you aiming for something new?
Um, I'm not the most athletic person. I'm really not. So this was something that I decided to kind of like try out. I am very interested in playing characters who are aware of their physical strengths. And AJ is very aware of that. She is a runner. She like is a perfectionist in that she wants to be the best. And so I had to practice running, which is a funny thing to say. Like, you can't really practice running. You already know how to run. No, no, not running like that. I really did have to like build up my stamina. And that took prep before our film began. But it was worth it, you know, because I think those track sequences really, like, they really sold because I was running, like I was exhausted at the end of those shooting days. I slept so well. I also learned how to skateboard. I took a few, you know, skateboarding lessons, and I fell a lot. And that also, I think, helped me connect to AJ, because for me, for like Auli'i, falling like bruised my pride. And to play AJ and for her to be like an avid skateboarder, which is as how she was written, like she has to be used to falling down and truly getting up and trying again over and over and over again. So the metaphor was there, and like it really like snapped in and like clicked in my brain, because I realized like it's hard, like nothing worth having, like it's always difficult, you know what I mean? Like to be the best at a sport or to land a trick, like you've got to fall and you've got to huff and puff and really try your best.
Yeah, I think that practice makes perfect, and
For
I
sure.
think you really dedicated a lot to the role. I think in terms of acting, and then like you said with the running and skateboarding. In terms of genre, how would you classify this project?
Ooh, well, I'd say it's coming of age rom-com. And I think our film is really special because it's a fresh take on a rom-com, and it's filled with Gen Z words and Gen Z humor and young actors and young people of color. So it's very like when you look at it, you're like, this is what, like, I think a typical high school or an inclusive, diverse high school would look like. And it's very refreshing. And to have worked with many of our actors in front of the screen are queer and out, but also our writing team, Casey Rackham and Kirsten King, they are also queer, and our director, Sammy Cohen, also identifies as queer. So truly like being on that set and reading the script and speaking the script into existence, like everyone who was a part of it was like, you know, part of that community. So it felt really right. And I think that's why it translates so well to our viewers, because representation matters.
Yes, I do think that mystery also adds to the list of genres in the film. As some people will kind of get into it, will know. Crush is also your first teen flick, I believe, or rather R-rated due to the language and other content. What was it like entering that territory?
It's really fun. And I actually didn't think of it as like the rating of that, but I guess we do swear, huh?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Compared to like Moana, because I have a lot of
Totally fair.
friends and yeah.
No, totally fair. I didn't think of it in that context, but it's really fun. Like I got to just like enjoy and again, like the humor that Tyler Alvarez brings to our film. He plays Paige's best friend, as well as Tila Dunn. Like the way that this cast plays off of one another, like it's impossible not to laugh. So like while we may swear, like I don't know if it's rated R, like it's just funny.
It's like PG-13, but yeah, because it's a streaming thing and streaming kind of, you know, plays around with the rules. I do believe it's like that.
Oh, so you're teaching me something. I don't know any of the rules regarding streaming.
I believe it's like that because I've seen like an animated series, and you know that's for children. It's on HBO Max, but you know, but they also do say cuss words, not much of the F word, but I believe so. Can we expect you, therefore, to dive into horror anytime soon?
Ooh, I really enjoyed the mystery aspect of this and the fact that like
Mhm.
you're not sure who's who and like there is something to solve by the end of this film. I I'd love to get into horror. I think horror is difficult to do well. So I'm
Mhm.
waiting for a good horror script to cross my path. And for sure, I mean, we all love Jordan Peele. Be happy to work on something of that caliber and with a great script that keeps you guessing until the very end. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes. What was the biggest thing that you gained while working on this project?
Hmm. I mean, besides gaining more stamina and running, I would say that I gained a lot of hope actually. I while working on this film, I got to kind of dive deeper into myself and what it means to be working one also during the pandemic. Like that was like a really interesting time. And to connect it back to AJ, like she is someone who through and through like will fight to be the best person that she can be. Like that's truly what I believe. I think that she
Mhm.
really wants to connect to people, but sometimes just is scared to. And so I took away like the fact that while it might be difficult to tell a crush that you like them, you have to, you know, because that's what changes it from a crush to a first love. And stepping out of your comfort zone is something that I definitely like resounded with me. And that's something that I left this film with.
Mhm. I am actually reading about that in grad school with the
Mm.
concept of risk, and that's a really excellent point that you made. My last question, just in case there might be a publicist after. What is one thing you would say to your character?
What a great question. I haven't gotten that question before. What would I say to my character? Um, believe people. I think believe
Mm,
people when what they say to you, how they act towards you, like believe them on first encounters because I think that's what chemistry is. Like
mhm.
I think you just have to catch a vibe. I tell AJ, what are the vibes? Catch the vibes. Because I think Paige likes you, dork. Like believe people.
Like, yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Uh, thank you so much for this opportunity to speak with you, and just congratulations on your film. And I hope many people get to see this project, and it's just brilliant. It really is. So thank you so much.
I
Yes.
appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Yes.